Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Video Games with your host July Diaz. I'm here with a very special guest, Brett Morris.
Very special. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I feel ambushed today. I didn't even know we were doing this today.
Cool. Yeah, and we actually have something to talk about. You unfollowed me on Twitter.
What? Hold on. Before you continue that thought, you unfollowed me on Twitter, and I confronted you about it.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So that is also true.
Yeah.
But then you followed me back on Twitter, and then you immediately unfollowed again.
That is, to my memory, are you claiming that I once did follow? Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're talking about adventure games this episode.
No, we got to settle this.
No, we will, but I just want everyone listening to know this is what we're going to actually be talking about, adventure games, and not harp on this.
Sure.
But to give my side of the story, I did unfollow you at some point because I was going through this thing where I was like, I need to unfollow everything. I wanted to be off Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then I had a change of heart because I started this podcast and I realized I need to promote this.
Yeah. Did you have a change of heart after I confronted you about unfollowing me? Or
not at all. No.
Okay.
No. Mostly because of the podcast.
What happened for me was I went to this site that I was told about called like Who Unfollowed Me or something.
Right.
And I couldn't have dreamt of anyone I know unfollowing me. It's a risky site to go to because you don't necessarily want to know what.
No, you should have never went. You should have never went.
I shouldn't have went, but I was shocked to find that there were people who unfollowed me, and I went down the list, and it was every single person I didn't know, and I was getting more and more relieved as I went down the list. And then I see July, and it's just no explanation or anything.
Well, here's my explanation. I'm so sorry. It was not personal. I was unfollowing everyone.
So you went down a list and just blindly unfollowed.
I also deleted all my tweets at one point.
Oh, you did?
Yes, there's also a website where you can put all your info and they just delete all your tweets and, unfollow everyone. So it's just like a blank slate.
All right. This makes me feel better. Let me explain. I need you to clear something up for me because I'm not sure. I thought I was following you this whole time. Is that not true?
Well, I don't know this because, listen, I
did. My vengeance was to follow you and then unfollow you.
Right.
So you could feel a little bit of the pain I was feeling.
So I have a thing, I don't know if you have this, or is this a general Twitter thing?
Yeah.
I get an email when someone I have followed for a bit follows me back. Mm-hmm. Like if they weren't following me, I get the email like,
oh, right.
Brett Morris is following you now on Twitter.
Okay.
Or Brett's Brain, or what's your Twitter name now?
Now my name is Brett's Per Minute.
Brett's Per Minute. Yeah. Brett's Per Minute. So I got that email after the fact that you went to that website where it said who unfollowed me. I get this email saying that Brett's Per Minute follows you now.
How did that make you feel? Like you won something? Like it was you played hard to get. The fact that you unfollowed me meant that now I was drawn to follow you.
Honestly, I was surprised because I did think you were following me on Twitter.
You did think
I did think you...
I thought I was too. But anyway, I followed you. I made sure I was following you. And then I unfollowed you.
Yes, and that's when I noticed that and because you brought it up. And it really hurt.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel that was a cheap shot. I'll admit that. But you know what? I was desperate. I had, you really pulled the rug out under me, and then. But now that you're saying you unfollowed a bunch of people, which I'll take your word on, I'm.
It's the truth.
I'll verify that. I'll go through my people and verify. Did you unfollow Barack Obama?
I actually did because
Really?
he was one of the accounts that I mean, he followed everyone. He did not follow me.
He never followed me.
Really?
Yeah, so that I don't know where to weigh that against you unfollowing me. Obama never following me hurts a little bit.
I think me unfollowing you hurts more.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Okay.
Oh, well, this is good. We're getting this out. You wanted to talk adventure games?
Yes, adventure games are. I have to say, like, if I had a hidden geek side, adventure games might be my biggest like subject there. Like,
wait, are you gonna follow me back?
Did you follow me again?
Yes.
I think I follow you. I think I do
No,
follow you.
no, you don't.
Okay. So now I wield the power. Now I'm real tempted. I could just hang on to this. I could just hang on to this as long as I wanted.
Honestly, you do you, man.
All right, I'll follow you back. I will follow you back
Great.
as soon as you put this episode up.
Well, I have a few banked, so I don't know when this is gonna go up.
Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, when this is published, then it's all on the table and we're at square one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yes, back to adventure games.
Back to adventure games. My first adventure game was probably like in the 80s at my friend's house on his little Mac, like Plus or whatever, those little boxes. And I think it was King's Quest 1 or 2, the old Sierra games. And then I was hooked from that. In adventure games, what makes them different that I always like is like you have to use your head. You have to put together like inventory items to get through the next spot, You don't just like, it's not action oriented.
Have you ever played any of the Resident Evil games?
Yeah, I have.
They're very much so like that too. You need to make sure you can only carry so many items with you to get to the next area.
Yeah, I would never call those adventure games though.
Okay, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying, they're similar in that way.
Yeah, they use adventure elements. I like when more games do that, but then I'm always craving more. Like I feel like you could go so advanced with that if you want, like with the inventory puzzles and things. Like
right.
The really ideal adventure game is like when you're really using lateral thinking, like sort of like A to C, some item you have.
Improv.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. I think that adventure game.
Hey, I love improv.
Yeah, you might like adventure games because you're improvising solutions, right? No, the best kind of puzzle is like you have an inventory item and maybe you picked it up at like beginning of the game and you're not using it till hours later.
Right.
On something you had no idea. And it should be something that you really thought of, not just trial and error.
Again, this really sounds like the Resident Evil games to me.
Resident Evil is not adventure. It's like
there are puzzles in that game too.
That's like those are on the level of like you found a key and then there's a locked door and you use the key on the door.
Well, so there's more than just keys. There's a whole. Listen, I've been playing the most recent remake of Resident Evil 2, and there's a section where you need to find specific chess pieces to unlock a door.
But you know what you're looking for, right?
Yes, but then there's a specific order it needs to go in, and you get little hints as to where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, it's like the difference between.
Isn't that a puzzle?
It's a puzzle, but it's just very light. It's very casual.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, adventure games are like that, but just they should go deeper. It should like really fool you. Like what I like the old school ones, like the LucasArts and the Sierra ones, that felt like the developers are trying to trick you a little bit. They're almost like daring you to figure out how to beat the game rather than like holding your hand through it.
Were there any zombies in those games?
Sure. Maybe the most famous adventure game is The Secret of Monkey Island. and your enemy in that is the zombie pirate LeChuck. And I'm convinced. Here's another. Why am I so like?
Sounds like Resident Evil to me. It just sounds like Resident Evil to me.
Aggressive right now. I am convinced that the Pirates of the Caribbean movies
stole the idea from this game.
I'm convinced that they took a lot from the Monkey Island games, even though there was a book that had undead pirates or something, but there's a lot like aesthetically that I think they took from the Monkey Island games. Like even the villain is the same thing as LeChuck, like with the beard and the face like all wiggling around.
Wow. And this is wow. I cannot believe this. Are
you stunned right now? Like,
I am stunned.
The revelations. The Monkey Island games were huge. I would bet so much money that they borrowed some ideas from them. They're really good games.
Oh, so now you're saying borrowed, not stole.
Oh, sure. Stole. I'll say I'll go back. Stole, why not?
All right, so which adventure game would you say is your favorite or has the most replayability that you would go back to from the classic ones that you've grown up playing?
I think I've replayed Monkey Island 2 maybe the most, but I've also replayed the Gabriel Knight series a lot, which was a Sierra series. Also, I'm convinced the Gabriel Knight series did a lot of what's it called? All that like Knights Templar stuff. There's a lot of like
Knights of the Round Table type stuff?
No, what are the movies? There's like Da Vinci Code stuff.
Okay.
There was like a big pop culture trend around the time that I felt like Gabriel Knight preceded. But like the first one is you're like this bookkeeper in New Orleans, and you're not bookkeeper. What am I talking about? You're basically
librarian.
Yeah, you're like a detective though, and then you get involved in this voodoo cult and stuff.
What?
It's very cool. And then the third one is incredible and very underrated. The graphics are horrible by today's standards.
And these are all PC games.
These are all PC games. Some of them were on Mac. And then it went through. So the 90s is known as like the golden age of adventure games, and they were pretty popular. They were still kind of nerdy. Like if you went deep, I didn't know anyone who like went as deep as I did into them. But then there was like, I think
wow, what a bold statement.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not bragging. I'm like sweating thinking about that. I kept it hidden all those years, you know?
It's your big secret.
How do you think that felt? That was my dark secret. No, and then like Myst came out, which was in the news today.
Yes, and why was it in the news today? In the day we're recording, not the day that this is released.
Yeah, because Mia Farrow, for some reason, wrote one of the most bizarre tweets. Said something like, I believe people are good inside, and that's why they won't vote for Donald Trump again. And Myst, the original Myst came out in 1993, and it's still one of the best games ever. And that was one tweet.
Now, is Trump in the Myst games?
No, he's not.
So then what is the correlation there, you think?
I cannot figure out what the correlation is. I don't think anybody can. I will say I agree with her second part a lot more than the first part.
Right.
I don't think people will just shape up as much as she thinks they will. But, she's got a point about the Myst game, so maybe she's right.
Maybe she's right.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Keep gaming, and hey, check out if Brett follows me back on Twitter.
Gabriel Knight. You wanker.
Mosley? Is that you?
No, it's my evil twin. What the hell are you doing here, Knight?
What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
I'm on vacation. I'm here with the tour group.
What kind of tour group?
You know, the touring kind.
And you guys came here?
Well, it's kind of it's a special treasure hunting tour group.
Treasure? What treasure?
Look, read the brochures, okay? I'm not the freaking tour guide.
Geez, nice to see you too.